What happens when the love of your life dumps you after 5 years? 5 years of hard work and diligent investment in the relationship. We have answers today for Vera and several other young girls out there who are making choices on cohabiting. And joining me today are several seasoned guests, so I can't wait for you to watch the show. My name is Chine Noli and I'm your host today. Joining me is Mr. Ayobami Ladipo, who is a media entrepreneur, also known as Mr. Porshe, and Ibukun Akinola, an interior designer and serial entrepreneur. Vera lives in Lagos and she says, "Hello, Metrowoman, I am heartbroken. My ex and I lived together for 5 years." She said, as the relationship continued, I noticed things that are getting worse and he was cold towards me. 3 months ago, I found out that he's getting married after we just recently broke up. Metrowoman, I'm feeling so devastated as I thought we could repair our relationship. Right now, I'm depressed over this. What was wrong with me? Why didn't he marry me? What did I do wrong? So, I mean, this is a very sad situation. Mr. Ayobami, she's lived with this guy for 5 years. You're a man, that's why we brought you here. We want you to give us answers. How could she have invested all of that time? And, you know, this is what it turns out to be.
As much as this sounds sad in your words,
yeah.
I think the first thing is cohabitation rights. It's a capital no.
Absolutely.
Very, very wrong at this modern days and time. Now, you're not married to this guy, you're not engaged, there's no traditional rites that's been performed, nothing whatsoever. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. On a guy's angle, on a personal, I feel that as a guy, after 6 months, you should evaluate your relationship. Even when you're dating, when you guys are not living together. After 6 months, evaluate your relationship. Once it's getting to a year, you should be able to put your pen to paper and say, yes, okay, I think I want to proceed with this, or I think I want to put a full stop to this. For a lady, you're living with a guy and she's performing the duties of a wife, cooking, cleaning the house, and all of that. See, let's call a spade a spade. She was serving the guy. She was serving.
So she was his house.
She was yeah, maybe in the unofficial house help or whatever you call it. She was serving this guy for 5 years. It might sound funny, but to that guy and to the fiancé, she could have just been the cousin or the niece or one girl that was stranded. If you're not stranded, you don't have any reason whatsoever
to live in another man.
The law of see finish, it comes into play. You wake up, you see the same person every day. You things that you don't see. Now, if you are the kind of guy who has OCD, and this lady likes to just scatter things, put things here, fling her back there, you get irritated. Meanwhile, these are things that you should see when you are married. These are things that you should begin to.
So she gave him the privilege
like 5 years.
See everything.
Now,
so
I'm not married, but you hear it every now and then that the first 3 years of marriage is the most challenging years because that's when you begin to know yourselves. You guys are bonding. It's just like business. So you guys are bonding. You're waking up every day. You realize that this person sleeps at this angle of the bed.
Person snores.
He snores. Oh, he doesn't want to be touched at some point. This person has mouth odor in the morning. So there are couples who will say, brush your teeth every night before you sleep. So they have that as a rule. Now imagine that this guy for 5 years, he was just probably tolerating what he does not ever want to live with. So all along, that guy was seeing another girl from kilometers, from miles, from a distance, who he was hoping that, you understand, that's the dream girl that he wants to bring in to change his life, to add value to him, that he feels she's the proper queen, she fits into all of this. So for the other lady, the living lover, she was just a maid.
That's what she was, and a living lover.
She was just a maid.
So Mr. Porshe, thank you for your honest opinion. Now Ibukun, what do you think about this?
Okay, so yeah, she was a maid in quote, what about the guy? Why did he wait for 5 years? Okay, I mean, fine. They are not supposed to be cohabiting. I totally agree with that. But they should be able to opt out. Apart from see finish, like Mr. Porshe has said, there's also a situation of, there's this thing about you getting too comfortable and assuming too much. So on the guy's part, is a typical man. A wolf has come. He has decided to chop a wolf. While on the woman's part, she's tolerating, expecting that one day the guy is going to marry her. Yeah. For me, it's a no-no, of course, for two people to cohabit together. Even our mothers in those days, when they betrothed them to their husband or something, the child-rearing thing comes up to cover up for that time of, you know, cohabiting. So while they're learning to understand each other, the child rearing comes in, and then they both shift their focus on the children. So there's a bit of the tension is not so much, you know, managing. Yes, they are distracted. There's a distraction, but there's no distraction here. Even husband and wife say that they are legally married. After a while, once it's like 2-3 years, it begins to get boring. And then there's, you know, pressure begins to set in, especially when the wife is not able to have a child, you know. So now imagine two people cohabiting, no child, they are not married. So in the first instance, you as the woman should open your eye, shine your eye. Jukulumesu, that's what it's called. You shine your eye. That's it. You can't sit in a man's house for 5 years for nothing. And men will always jump at free things. Everybody, you are sleeping there. Maybe the only thing that is keeping the man going is the sex part. Maybe there's something he's enjoying. So it's just like, oh. And I mean, the guy would have gone out all day. He's tired and he needs to sleep. You are there, a wolf by his side. So all he does is just, you know, take you up, have his normal night dose, and sleep off. So you really can't blame him. Both of you should be blamed. And so,
well, when you say both of them should be blamed, it almost sounds like the guy has anything to lose. The guy is getting married, so it's the girl.
See, like I said,
that's totally at the disadvantage.
The guy is just being a user. Let's call it speed.
Yes.
He's just being a user, and I don't know why. For 5 years, the girl was so blindfolded with not love this time around.
That one day,
because the thing is, you can't push a guy, you can't instigate a guy into marriage.
To get married.
No. So he has to see values.
So what are men looking for? These are some of the questions that I'm sure will be going through her mind. I gave this man everything. I gave this man my life.
He came too. It was too cheap.
She came.
You get yes.
She came too cheap.
I say yes to what she said.
So
now.
no value.
Yes, no value.
Men naturally want value.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with you see this line, what she bring into the table. It had nothing to do with probably money or what have you. But you see that added value that you feel that okay, she would bring a plus to me. She would make a home. That desired home, that kind of home that you've always wanted as a guy.
Which she has been trying to make.
You understand? No, that's a house. That's a house. That's a house, not a home. It's a house. It's a building. It's a building. But he wants a home. He has in his mind the kind of woman he wants to have as a wife. The kind of woman he wants to work with. When there's an event, when he's back home, the kind of woman he wants to relate with. He wants to share ideas with. He wants to gist with and say, oh, this happened at work. Oh, I want to do this. What do we do?
What do you think about
that person that he will have the we with is not that lady. She was serving her master for 5 years. It's that simple. It could be, sometimes it's funny, it could be the food. Sometimes
maybe she
it is
really well.
It could be the food.
Yes, it could be the food.
So even when they disagree, when they have issues, and one thing was so clear, he knew so well that she cannot exit.
Yes.
She can't use that door.
That she was comfortable.
5 years. He knew so well that she could not leave. So all along, he was planning something outside. He waited for the right time to eat and say, babe, we're done. And the other person, the original wife, she's coming in.
5 years, you know, I think it's easier said than done.
5 years already. She's not a graduate.
5 years now.
She's a graduate of the school of relationship.
Now.
She's a graduate of the school of relationship.
Yes, now.
Now
she's gone through uni.
She has
done NYSC already.
Yes, now. So she'll just, she'll start
afresh.
Yeah, she'll start afresh.
Now she's coming into the labor market of relationship.
Of the real
so
thing.
now she has the experience.
Yes.
So
but I hope that doesn't make her bitter and cynical.
Okay, it could go either way. It could make her bitter. She'll probably be looking out to revenge. Maybe on some
even
other
without
guy.
meaning to.
Even without meaning to.
Without
Yes.
But she'll be stupid if she has to revenge.
No, but
for 5 years, I'm sure that she had toasters. She had guys asking her to message, sliding into her DM, and she's with this guy. I'm sure that if you ask Vera, there'll be some things that she's not even talking about. It can't be so. It can't see why we try to blame guys. Well, even me, why I just said okay, the guy is a user and all of that. It can't be as smooth as ladies will paint the pictures.
What do you think is the problem? Why do we have more and more people? Is it that our parents are not training us properly anymore?
Okay.
What do you think the matter is?
In that regard, I'll say this. Our values have been eroded on a daily.
Right?
On a daily.
And what do you think is the cause?
The quest for freedom is a major one. From the moment a boy or a girl is done with the secondary school and he gets into the university. Now, the freedom he or she has had in the university or polytechnic, they want to keep up with that freedom. They don't want to come back home. Now, so some, because they don't want to come back to the house after school, to stay at home while they work or while they are job hunting. So the story of maybe I'm living with my friend, I'm putting up with this. Some even come up with stories that they found a job. Meanwhile, they're still job hunting. You see, that quest for freedom is a major cankerworm that is killing a lot of things now. Our values are eroded. That is no gainsaying. But every day, you now realize that I'm not trying to say anything against the women folk, but the truth is, abuse of so many things on the female side is on the high. Part of it is abuse of drugs that you now see. Ladies in the past cannot confidently sit in a public place and do some stuffs. But these days, the highest form of drug abuse that you see even comes from the ladies.
Interesting.
Yes. Now, you can't do that in your father's house. You can't do it in your mother's house.
So that's what I'm saying. So who do we
You
blame?
want to go to the club every now and then.
Is it a lack of parental care? Not just you, but on the general.
Okay.
As a man, what do you think men want now?
I'm sure that myself and a whole lot of reasonable guys don't want mates.
Yeah.
You want a woman that adds value to you. You could have lived the 30-something years of your life pushing yourself to a particular level, and you don't want to go below. So you want a woman that will be a plus. As an entrepreneur, you want to come back home and you want that woman that if you wake up at 1 a.m. and say, babe, I just thought of something. You don't want a yes woman. You don't want the okay. Okay.
One that will tell you the truth.
Okay. You want her to tell you the truth. But still, at the same time, telling you the truth in the most reasonable way. Not the Margaret Thatcher kind of way. You understand? So I think values basically, and values entails the love for God, the love for humanity, a woman that wants a home. Because if you're the guy that loves family and you're married to someone who does not understand what it means to have a home, then there will be problems. Just the same way you have women that all their lives, probably they grew up where there's love. They wanted a home. And the guy is the absentee husband who probably will just be home 2 days, the remaining 5 days is out. They can't work. So you have to find a balance. That woman that has value, that loves God, that wants a home, there is a good homemaker, not a house cleaner, not a house maker, not just a cook. But she wants a proper relationship. She believes in two people can make it work. So on a personal, that's what I want.
I hear you say, I want peace.
Yeah.
I want someone that will
Give you peace.
Give me peace.
Yeah.
Because there's trouble in the world out there.
Yeah.
So I want to come back home.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to come and meet a nagging wife.
I don't want to come and meet a nagging wife.
Especially after you gone around Lagos.
Yeah.
You've been in traffic all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ibukun, so Vera is here. She's listening. I know she's watching this. And Vera says, these people have laughed at me. They have called me house girl. They have said I made the wrong decision. But I'm still feeling very bad, and something in the conversation I had with her, she said, I'm even tempted to go and meet that girl and tell her that this man is a liar. He kept me for 5 years. She wants, you know, she was actually tempted to try and destroy the relationship, you know. And of course, we counseled her. She has actually gone through therapy. What are your last words for Vera? And remember that you're not just talking to Vera, but to the other ladies out there who are probably in that situation or about to go in.
Okay, to Vera, the deed has been done. Yes. Move on with your life. Start afresh. Yeah. You've gone through school. You're out of school. You're a graduate. Bad knocks of relationship. You're a graduate. Yeah. So put all this together. She should bottle it, package it as the needed experience. Now, try not to be bitter to the next person. Yeah. The next person did not cause you any pain. That person had nothing in whatever misfortune that you've been through in 5 years. Yeah. To ladies out there, cohabitation is a no. What it does, it reduces your values. It reduces your self-worth, your self-esteem. You begin to see yourself trying to please a man rather than you both trying to make it work. You're doing everything to please him. You're serving him. You're not dating. Because you do everything because you want this guy to be happy. Because you want him to see how good you are so he can actually propose and put a ring on that finger. By the end of the day, you realize that you're not going to do all of that. It keeps subjecting you to different analysis and checks every day, which he would not do to or with his wife. So basically, it's a no. It's a no.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Your thoughts?
To Vera and to every other woman outside, for Vera, I mean, cohabiting in the first instance, I think it's because you don't believe in yourself. Because if you believe in yourself and what you can do and the fact that God has created you as a beauty, in and out, you shouldn't, I mean, reduce yourself or, you know, make yourself low as to living with a man. And I say to Vera, start afresh. There's always a new beginning. Don't see it as, an opportunity to revenge on several other men. Take a look at where you're coming from. Learn from your mistakes. And don't ever allow any man, you know, push you into cohabiting with him, you know, some other time. There's always a new day ahead. Thank you.
Fantastic. Vera, there's always a new day ahead. And you know, I read an article yesterday that just popped up into my head as a thought. An article about a man who identified a need. They were talking about how people start businesses. And they said he saw a need. Everybody was complaining about it. So what he decided to do was to set up a business to provide the solution. So for Vera and for any other woman who's found herself in a similar situation, it's good for you to know as well that while you're in this process of healing and moving on, there are lots of young women out there who need help, who need to be told your story, who need to hear your story. A lot of women who will eventually become depressed and feel rejected and dejected, and you can help them. So right now, you should actually dust yourself and move along. Make sure you don't make those mistakes anymore. So we've come to the end of the show, and thank you so much to all my guests for coming to the show. And from us to you, we say bye. Yeah, see you same time next week. God bless you. Hey!